So, in my book, The Way of Nagomi, I have described interesting aspects of the Japanese culture. But as I stated at the beginning of my book, I'm not saying that Japan is a special country. I believe that every country is special and unique in its own way. And, you know, although I am a Japanese, I have been resident of Japan for, many, many years, except for a few years where I spent my time abroad, most notably in the United Kingdom. I have been, more or less based in Tokyo, so that would be my prejudice, I think, and privilege actually. So, so having said that, I do believe that there is a reason why the world would experience what some people would call Japanization in the years to come. And this is quite an interesting concept, Japanization, that Japan is somehow leading the way for many parts of the world in terms of social change, cultural trends, and so on. And that is sometimes called Japanization. And I do believe there is a reason for that. And the reason is that Japan is an island nation, and it has absorbed many influences from the world. In the early days, Japan absorbed many cultural influences from China and the Korean Peninsula, and also from India and from Southeast Asia. The Japanese are really curious people, including myself. So, we have been absorbing all these cultural influences from the eastern part of the world, of course, of which Japan is a integral part. But the Japanese people has been really really curious, and that I think characterized the Japanese mind. And since modernization, Japan has absorbed also Western influences. For example, the medical professions in Japan, they have been heavily influenced by the German medical culture. The Constitution of Japan was taken from Germany, and the civil law were those were actually adapted from the French system. And as a constitutional monarchy, Japan has learned a lot from the United Kingdom. And also, for obvious reasons, Japan has been quite very much influenced by the American culture too. So all these Western influences have been mixed with the Eastern tradition. And that's probably why Japan is a unique nation in the world today. So, Japanization is the fact that in a globalized world, every nation would become something like Japan, in that no nation is an island of its own. No nation can thrive on its own, autonomous culture and historical merits. I mean, we need to listen to people in the world, and we need to absorb influences from the world. And in a small world network, where if you have 6 degrees of separation, that can be overcome, and we're all connected, and we are all influencing each other. So that is the reality of the world today. And Japan, for the reasons I have described, because it's an island nation, and because its peoples are curious, and also in the process of its history making and modernization in particular, it has absorbed many, many different influences from the world. And, the result is a uniquely Japanese version of the global culture. And you would see many wonderful examples in this book, The Way of Nagomi, like katsukare and so on. So anyway, that's my presentation, more or less. So I have stated my case that in which I believe that nations and peoples in the world would become somewhat like Japan in the future, because of the fact that we are connected to each other, and we are well advised to be curious of what other people are doing elsewhere in the world. And, in that, Japanization of the world would be a happy future, I think, in that we will be in the great game of global mix of cultures and traditions together. So that is the ethos of my book, The Way of Nagomi. So please do read it if you have time. Thank you.